This is Yerushalmi Kilayim, an article Old edition, by that pay base Rav. Let's start from the top line, though we got a little bit further last time, from Stephen Yishkov Pnei Shimon. And in the in the Vilna, that is on Daf Mem Gimel Amud Aleph. It is before counting up from the Mishnah. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 lines from the top of Halacha Dalet. See, Yishkov Pnei Shimon. Okay, so it says Yishkov Pnei Shimon about the bear in Parshas Chukas. We are actually in the Bishiras Bear it says that, and the Gemara Darshans. Omar Abichir said Baria. Yesterday said that it could be it should say Ruba, like Ruba all over. Shimon, anybody goes into the mouth to be Shimon. For Roman Tzakmin Kvar B'Yam Tveria, the sea is like a sieve in the sea of Tveria, and the Kinneret Zoli Baruch Miriam. It's Miriam's bear. I'm Rabbi Yochanan Sherenua, Rabbanon. About a reckoned space by Mechadel Kokodil Tara Mitziyah, the Knishta, Atikta. It is opposite the middle gate of the old shul of the Srungin. That's the place. Rabbi Bar Kiria, Rabbi Lezer, Metailin Bisturin, the gears of the Rosh Hashanah and Reb Chaim is Istratin, which means a street. The Shara so has a gears of Stadin, the stadium. There's a long discussion of the Itztadin, the stadium, which was built in Tveria. And he says that the name, wherever they were standing, they saw coffins coming from Chutzlaretz. I'm Rabbi Kiria, Rabbi Bar Kiria, Rabbi Lezer. Rabbi Kiria said to Rabbi Lezer, what good did they do, these people? Ani Koilahem, I'd say about them, Nachlasi, something to You made my portion and so repugnant during your lifetimes. And now you're bringing your body, you're sending your bodies, you're just being defiling my land in your death. So let's say him came Shemakim Gush Afar Nichim Alaronon. It says no, it's still coming to Eretz Yisrael even after the death is advantageous to them because when they come to Eretz Yisrael, they put a block of dirt from Eretz Yisrael on their coffins. The land of Eretz Yisrael is mechaper on the nation of Israel. I think probably from here comes the minhag that they whenever possible they bury a little bit of dirt from Eretz Yisrael to the other person even in Chutzlaretz. Okay, says Halacha Dal Habrasim vabar desim. This Dal mitukin. These are all garments made out of wool, various sorts. Me'as hapinun, also the type of shoe. Lo yibashem actually don't check them until they are. Don't wear them until the check them because they may well they could have linen in them as well. That's why also garments come from the seashore and Chutzlaretz. They don't require b'dika. Canvas. They're not made out of wool. They're made out of canvas. Uminal shel zered. This is a shoe which is primarily made of leather. Able to climb doesn't climb evidently because it's not suspect of having wool and linen in it. Habursim says Gemara was a bursin a birya. It's a garment called a birya. Barsin is dilma, another type of garment. Hadal makti tukin kovlinu ma'aforin. There are types of I don't know what a kovlin is. Ma'aforis is kind of like an apron. Melos hapinun dardasim, some sort of moccasins. Rabbi Yossi afa b'ayim b'chof hayom dinasiyam. What does he mean by this? Chof hayom umidinasiyam, either from the seashore in Eretz Yisrael or from Chutzlaretz, or from the seashore in Chutzlaretz. I mean, the tiny. Since the examples given are like Tyre and its surroundings, and and Kesar and its surroundings. Have the Amara. This much teaches me Chof Hayam Nishem Medina Sayam. So Tsar and Caesarea, Caesarea considered to be out of Chutzlaritz, and therefore means they come from the seashore in Chutzlaritz. And it's a Chamdika. That they only have to be checked. That was initially when linen was not so widespread everywhere. And now the linen is widespread. It required checking no matter where they come from. Minal shel zarav is asrin the zarvin, which means to sew. This sewn shoe, their place is the zarvin imra. They sew wool, meaning go inside of it. It's kind of a padding, I guess. Go to Rabbi Zira, Mefakir Rabbi Abba, Barzvina, like Rabbi Abba Zira commanded Rabbi Abba Barzvina. So Rabbi Zira forbade Evnei Midrabanan to sew shoes with linen when you're going to wear wool socks. Because you can't take off the socks without untying the knot of the shoes, and that looks like you're tying together wool and linen, as opposed to a belt of wool that you can wear on top of a linen garments, because it's possible, at least with difficulty, to remove the garments without removing the belt. And now the Gemara is going to explain this. There's zero fact that Rabbi Abba Zina v'yomar l'bar rishon, and they should tell a certain person named Bar Rishon, that was his name, who was a cobbler. You should not sew shoes with linen, but only with leather straps. Mother Abzir behind the Asar Piske, but he did conceive with somebody who was wearing a belt, Tamar, a blade of wool, al kitan on linen, to shari. That's okay. Do shanatz karmeh, he compresses himself, the nachtola, and then he can take his garments off, or the belt off, for that matter, without having to untie it. Boy karmeh vabilah. As for la mal mechot mesane bekitan. Well, what's the story? Can we sew our shoes with linen or not? He said, here's a Kigon, Rabbi Zera, according to the Reb Chaim and the Gra, it should say, it's supposed to say, Lamalo. He said, why not? He said, then why not? So they said, well, what do you mean, why not? Be Rabbi Zera. Rabbi Zera Maser. Rabbi Zera said it's also. So Mother Rabbi Law, who is Rabbi Law, the same person, Bohen, the Yabush Dardasim Damar Agabe Dardasin, this is the Kitan. So to wear Dardasin here means socks of wool, socks of linen, do also. That's no good. The Lo Shayach Ilaya, Lo Shayach Are, because it's not possible to I forgot what this means. You can't remove. You're putting on wool socks instead of linen socks. You can't take off the linen socks without taking off the wool socks first, which is also Rabbanan. But by shoes, he says that's okay, because shoes, since they're open on the side, you can take them off like that. Chak. So they but you can take off somehow through that. You can take off the socks without taking off the shoes. Beats me exactly how, but evidently since they were sandals of some sort, I guess there was some way of doing it. So he did disagree with Rabbi Zera about shoes, but he did say by socks you should not wear. Of course, there's the Rabbanan, and perhaps only the Chumrah of the Rabbanan, not the Halacha of the Rabbanan, but shouldn't wear wool socks on top of linen socks. Avoid Rabbi Safra, show Rabbi Zera. The father Rabbi Safra asked Rabbi Zera, Mami tam pritin gulgusa? Can I put coins into a woolen garment? and then tie the garment shut with a linen thread. Mamitim, conversely, Mamitam Pritin goes dine. Can I put coins in a linen garment, tie them and tie them with a wool thread? Said Chacham Rabbi Huna. Do you know Rabbi Huna? Rabbi Huna Amar Asar. Rabbi Huna said Asar. Rabbi Amar Asar. He says Asar. Shmuel Amar Motor. Shmuel said Missile. Rabbi Yaakov Rasa Shem Biyasa Amar Motor. So the Rabbi Chaim says, because ain't there chibun b'kach. People don't use their wallets to heat themselves up. In other words, wallets are wallets. So the whole issue is using it as a form of garment, and it's not very. It's very remote to regard the wallet when it's carrying as a form of a garment. So therefore, the issue would not apply. Says the halacha ches. Ein also mishum kilayim ela tvoi tavui varig. It has to be spun thread, has to be woven. So Rashi explains Shua Tavoy means Shua is woven, Tavoy is spun. I'm sorry, Shua is combed, Tavoy is spun, and nose is woven. Rashi, the Rambam, the Tosfos says that nose means twisted. And that has to do with Semer Pishtim Yachdav. And all these are together are necessary conditions to have it. This is the Raisa. That's according to Rashi. Tosfos, according to the Rambam, any of these constitutes the Raisa. He says any of these, you don't need all three. And Shua, he says, is pressed felt, not combed and not combed. He says nose is twining or sewing. So it's similar to Rashi and Tosfos. Rashi said woven, Tosfos says twisted, but again, he says any of the three, not all three together. Rabbi Shimon no losum it leads you know what shotness means? He is twisted and is trying to twist HaKadosh Baruch Hu Kaviyachol. Levadim asurim neshu and chewing. Levadim are a felt. And according to the Rambam, it's less of the Raisa because it fulfills one of the criteria. According to the other Yerushalmi Rashi says it's only also midrabanan. Pif shel tzemer is a border of wool which shall please on a linen garment. Also, neshein chozrim bari because it's woven into each other. If you have, it says here in the Mishnah of the Gemara says, and Reb Chaim say that it should say argamon. So it's threads of argamon, which are wool. Asuras and neshu molel. You roll them into the garment, actually kosher, before you tie them. So evidently, they're tied onto the garment, but they're also rolled into the garment, and therefore they are asur. Loikshar seret shel tzemer b'shel pishton lakoras most of. You shouldn't tie a strip of wool in linen in order to gird your loins. Even though there is a knot in the middle. So I have here kind of a picture which I drew based on the Reb Chaim. You have here a leather in the middle. It says or in the middle, semer on top, and pishton on the bottom. Even though it's kind of the chatzitza of the leather in the middle, and it's wool and linen or ornamentation, different size of the leather, it's not permitted. Osas agardim, the osas akovsim, the osas agardim are evidently they are they embroider a letter onto the garment, or some other, I guess, form, kind of like a little alligator on the ISOT shirts, whatever it was, alligator, something else, whatever it was. So they put them there in order to identify whose shirt it is, whether it's the guy in the embroider, it's the embroidered garment, or the kofsin, people who want the garments, Yerushalmi Kilayim, because that also is a form of sewing together. And that brings us well into Daf Pei Gimel, and therefore, as a matter of fact, it brings us to the end of Pei Gimel Amrav. Maybe I took it that far, but therefore, this is a very good place to stop.